So I have some really good news and I have a bit of an update. Um, I finished my project because I just kind of sat down and I locked in and I felt all my emotions. So I have finished writing everything that I wanted to. That's the first part. Next step is recording. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried because not I can't really work with every single person, and I know my issues, and yeah, that's kind of the main gist of it. Um, so there has been progress in that, and I'm just super proud of myself because it's like I had this huge writer's block, and I finally got over it. I had to get over a bunch of fears. I had to just sit down, lock in, feel my emotions. I had to have a lot of bad things happen to me, or painful things and painful life lessons. And overall, um, I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of how I handled everything. I'm very proud of where I am at now. No, I'm nowhere where I completely wanted to be, but I'm resilient and I have a lot of good qualities about me, and I stick to my values and my beliefs and I keep going. Um, I had this huge fear that I wasted a lot of time because I moved abroad and I was doing a bunch of things, but in reality, I just needed some peace and I was just getting the garden ready to harvest the vegetables. Um, Mainly because I was just not mentally there. Mm. I noticed I was not mentally there. I noticed that I needed a lot of support, and the only person who could truly give me all that support was me. So I really had to dig deep. Sometimes I would have to let the emotions get to me, but overall, there's a lot of progress. Not in everything. I haven't only done like a third of the third of the project. So, like, a third, I guess. But it's really scary, it's really vulnerable, and I kind of came to the conclusion I don't really care if people like it or not because this is the first time that in my life I've been making something that isn't. I'm not trying to impress another people, trying to make it technical. Not that all of it was about it, but there was just so much effort and things that had to go into it and so many obstacles that I had to get over. And I think I had to go through that learning phase of like making some pretty shitty things and making some good things and just trying to figure out my sound and just trying to figure out where I'm going. And unfortunately, yeah, um, I just have this memory of me in. I have this memory of me working at this restaurant, and I remember I released my first song, and um, to my face, my coworkers were really nice to me, but behind my back, that was not the case. And I was told this by like another coworker of mine, and um, to be honest with you, that didn't really bother me at the time, and it still kind of really doesn't bother me because it was my very first song. I knew I had a lot to do, a lot of progress, but it was the first thing that I made myself, and I didn't like rely on many people, and to me it was just a really big milestone. Now that milestone is kind of minuscule because I've just overstepped. Now I have to make more milestones, more meaningful, and I've kind of been procrastinating, but the reality of my procrastination was a lot of running away, a lot of not sitting in my emotions, and kind of the point of the art was just to sit in my emotions and to make it. A lot of it was low self-esteem, low confidence. I refused to move on from certain situations and from certain people. And I didn't realize that instead of asking the question why all the time, sometimes you need to ask what you got out of something. And nothing is really a waste, in my opinion, I guess now. Excuse me. Because all this time, I wanted some kind of peace. I don't know if I was ready to put myself out there in the world to get rejected, to get people to tell me their opinions, because I'm in a place, and just in this culture, people just like talking about their opinions, especially older people. They just have no concept of, I don't know what concept that is, but so that's that. Like I said, I'm very proud of myself. While to many, seems like I haven't done much. I have done a lot, and I have been through so much, and it's just amazing how at the end of the day, you should never betray yourself. You should always listen to yourself, and when you do, it brings you in the right direction. And I don't know if I'm completely listening to myself, but I'm going to admit that I make mistakes. I'm going to admit that I fail. And I did fail for a while, but I've gotten up again, I think, and I finally have done I've just gotten back up. And I was resting, and I really needed to rest, and I really needed strength, because let's be real, getting knocked down is not fun. It's not an easy feeling. It's not a good feeling. Sorry, it's not a good feeling. And the amount of maturity I think that I have gone through is immense and huge. And I'm kind of glad I didn't pursue a master's degree at the moment. Not knocking anything, but right now I'm just looking at my path, and I'm looking at how much I have just learned from life practically, and learned so much about myself. And if I went and I pursued a master's, I would be running away from half of my problems instead of facing them. And you should look fear in the eye sometimes and see what that fear can give you, how it can unfold, what future comes. What could happen if you look fear into the eyes, and like what options there are. Now, I'm not saying everything, yeah, I'm sure you know, not everything is rational, but I have to explain it. So that's my little update. I'm very proud of myself. I have gotten kind of out of my rut, pretty much. Now it's just putting the finishing pieces together, and I'm ready to treat like this YouTube channel and everything as a creative project. I'm just ready to put like little creative things, and I'm glad that I'm just sitting down here and not editing super much and have like a bunch of mistakes and stuff. Like, it doesn't matter to me. It like genuinely doesn't matter. And I'm kind of sick, so I'm not looking the best, but that's not the point. The point is that like I get out, I put myself out there. Maybe somebody else is watching. Maybe 10 years I'm going to be watching this, and oh my god. I'm going to think this is a great idea. And yeah, which is something I want to talk about in the next video. I wanted to say how grateful I am I got back into dance, but I'll make that tomorrow, I think. Yeah.